Okay, so as promised, you are going to get a front end to use for your backend application. I would imagine it's really nice when you develop a backend app and you can at least consume it using a user interface rather than just Postman all the time. So please do not expect too much from this front end application. It was developed using React and MobX. I don't think it's developed in the best way, but it definitely works. And I think it looks nice and is a nice way to present your application to others. So this is the Git repository for that. You can find that in the resources for this lecture. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to just clone it onto your machine. After you clone it, we can continue, and then I'll show you how you set up the application to actually work. So do that. And there you go. That is the code base for the front-end application. So assuming you've cloned it, this is what you should have on your screen right now. I'm not going to run you through the app because this is not a React course, but what you should know is that in our files, src, services, and then base HTTP service, this is how we define the base URL in our front end. So we're going to use an environment variable called React app base URL to provide the default base URL that this front-end application will use. If it's not defined, it will automatically fall back to HTTP localhost 3000. So just know if you need to change the base URL, and you're actually going to see how we do that when going to production, just know that you can do that via an environment variable called React app base URL. Okay, now we need to install the dependencies before we can run this front end. So in the project folder of the front end, we're going to run yarn, and that is going to install the dependency. Once the dependencies are installed, all you need to do to start the application is yarn start. And there you go. That is the login screen. Now, before we continue, there is one very important thing that we need to do. Our backend application, our Nest.js app, will not accept any requests from a different origin. That is a sort of default behavior in Nest.js, and that is for security reasons. For the sake of this course, we are going to just enable CORS. CORS stands for cross-origin resource sharing, and we're going to enable it to allow an application from a different origin to access our application. And when I say different origin, I mean the front end is running on 3001 and our backend is running on 3000. So they have different origins. That is not the best thing to do in a production setup. In a production setup, you want to fine-tune your CORS configuration to only allow requests from authorized origins that you can trust. So please notice that. So in order to enable CORS, we have to open up our main.ts file, and right after creating our app, we'll simply call app.enable CORS. And there you go, CORS is enabled. Remember to do that, otherwise you'll get errors. Now back to our front end, you can see this is the login screen. You can create an account here, Ariel's account, or call it whatever, of course. Choose a password. If you choose a password that is too weak, you're going to get an error message. This is actually coming from the backend, right? So I chose a password that is decent. So I signed up. Now I'm back in the sign-in screen, in the login screen, and I want to sign in. Please check your login credentials. This is what happens when you provide the wrong login credentials, so you get nice error handling. Let's sign up again because I actually totally forgot my password. Sign up. Sign in. There you go. So this is what happens when you sign in, get things done. You can filter by statuses. You can search. You can create a task and say, clean the toilet, make it shiny. You've created your task. Of course, if you refresh, you're going to still get your tasks. You can even modify a task status here on the fly to in progress. So if you refresh, you see it persists. You can delete a task. Let's just create another one. Play piano, be the best. create that task. You can apply some search. So if you search for guitar, obviously you're not going to find anything. If you search for piano, you're going to find that. You filter by done, you're not going to find anything. So really, this just works as expected. I hope you can appreciate that, and I hope you will enjoy this. And of course, feel free to fork this repository and make some changes to it. It's always, always appreciated. If you have any issues getting this front-end application up and running on your machine, please write that in the Q&A section of this lecture. And yeah, thank you very much. And let's continue and enjoy this course.